Good morning. Yep, Uncle Lou here. Yeah, that's right, it's me, Uncle Lou, live for you on YouTube today. Yeah. Thanks for watching, per usual, too. Yeah. What is this? Yeah, I accept. How's everyone doing? Can y'all hear me okay? Let me know in the comments if y'all can hear me. I like to do that at the beginning just to make sure I haven't screwed anything up here. Are you sure you want to decline? No, accept. Good morning, Epic Sack of Potatoes. That's a great name. Good morning, sir. Does it say Stanford and TCU? Hold on. Sorry. Hold on, let me see if I can fix it. Well, it shouldn't say Stanford and TCU. Are you talking about the cover picture or what? Maybe I didn't change it. But it shouldn't say, if it does, I don't know. But it's not Stanford and TCU, don't worry. It's Tennessee and Kansas. Free golf at Bartram Trail. I live right down the road from there, sir. I think my golfing days might be behind me, though. It's right now? Okay. Was someone trolling me or it just changed? Okay, I thought I changed it. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Good morning. Thank you. Where is it? Yes, I have read and accept the terms. I guess I haven't played this since the last time I streamed it for you guys, so there was an update or something to the game. And so it's making me download that now. Yeah. Good morning, Gregory, James Smith, Waffle 0102, MFL pregame, John Cameron. Good morning, Squidtard. I got you, Squidtard. I remembered. Actually, I didn't remember, but you reminded me. Yeah. Good morning, whoever just asked for the face cam. There you go. Does that make you happy to hear? You get to see Uncle Lou again? Yeah. Anyway. Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Peyton. Who do I think will win the Super Bowl? Talked about that yesterday on the live show. I got to go with the Patriots. I mean, I'm not rooting for the Patriots. I don't really care about either one of the teams. I'll probably be rooting for the Eagles. Usually when I watch a football game and I literally have absolutely no interest in who wins the game or not, I usually will root for the underdog team. So I guess I'll probably pull for the Eagles, but I honestly just don't care one way or the other, to be honest about it. So let's see here. We're going to do Kansas and Tennessee, right? Boy, this is going to be an... Oh, Tennessee's ranked 25th in this game. They should win. Let me ask y'all something. There was a lot of comments in the comment section today. A lot of comments in the comment section today that said I should just simulate the game. How do y'all feel about that? Should I just simulate the game and talk about it as the game is being played and talk with you guys in the comment section, or should I actually pick one of these teams and play? See, here's somebody here, simulate the game. I guess that's probably what I'll do, and then a few people said, well, he's gonna put it on easy and he's gonna be Kansas so he can beat Tennessee 100-0, and that's not what I do on these things. I mean, I've played as Georgia on here for you guys before and lost the game. So, stadium. Now, this is the 1 seed and the 4 seed, so that's going to be the Sugar Bowl. Uncle Lou hates Confederates. It's not my fault they lost, sir. It's a you problem. You seem to be the one having a problem getting over that, not me. All-State Sugar Bowl. Don't play the game. Put it on Heisman. Play it on Heisman. Don't play as a team. Just watch it. Mark Fox to receive another contract extension. Good win for the Dogs today over Florida. What can you say? I mean, Lord knows I'm not a Mark Fox fan. I still root for Georgia to win every time they play, though. I didn't see this win coming. Even when Georgia had a lead late in the second half, I said, well, I've seen this before. They'll figure out a way to blow it. But a good win for Georgia. Actually, I mean, they dominated this game for the majority of it, to be honest. They outplayed Florida, and Florida looked like a bad team, really. Lou, you see Georgia beat Florida a minute ago. Yeah, I watched it. Lou, who do you think Georgia new duo running backs are going to be? I think Swift is the likely go-to guy right now. Got to see what happens with Zamir White. I'm a big believer in that guy. I think he could be the best running back we have the day he shows up. Now, of course, he's got to get his knee. He tore his knee up. I have a feeling he's probably not going to be ready to go week 1. Health-wise, he may be ready to go week 1. The problem is he's a true freshman, and he's just going to miss a ton of practice and prep time. I'll be surprised if he gets to do any type of real practicing at all until July or August. So I find it hard to believe that he'll be the guy on day 1, maybe by the end of the season. Definitely by next year, I think Zamir White will be RB1. But I think Swift can handle it this year. Running back 2, you're looking at Holyfield and Harrion, or Harrion and Holyfield, depending on how that shakes out. And that other running back we're bringing in too, what's his name? Cook. He's not bad either. So an embarrassment of riches at running back for UGA. I'm not the least bit concerned about the running back situation here. What am I doing? Did I accidentally play the game instead of simulating it? What did I do here? What teams in the SEC will be good next year? Georgia, Alabama. I mean, depending on what your definition of good is, I guess I can add teams to that. Auburn, I think, will be okay. I think South Carolina will be okay. It's really hard to say after that, right? Those are probably the 4 best teams, aren't they? Florida, you don't know what you're getting, I don't think. Talent-wise, what's Mullen going to do? That kind of thing. I think Florida's maybe a year away, maybe. Tennessee, I definitely don't believe in. Do I think the East will be better than the West? I don't know. As long as Florida and Tennessee are struggling to make bowl games, it's hard to imagine the East being better than the West. Oh, Mark Fox is here. What am I doing here? Did I not pick? I don't even know who I am. What's happening here?
We're just about set to kick off. Before we head down to the field for the coin toss, we'd like to remind you this game is brought to you by Coke Zero. Real Coke taste, 0 calories. Enjoy
what am I?
Everything.
Kansas? I didn't even want to be a team. Hold on. I might have to start this over. I wanted to simulate the game, I think, instead of actually playing it. Brody asked thoughts on Michigan State. I talked about that for about 15 minutes on the live show yesterday. You can go back and watch it. I think that was the second thing I talked about, so it's probably 15 minutes or so into the show. You can go check that out. I pretty much said what I needed to say on that there. What is Super Sim? Do I have to start the game over? Oh, here we go. Select sides. Can I do that? No controllers have been assigned. We'd like to continue to watch this game. Yes. That's what we want to do. We're just going to watch this game, right? Okay. So we'll just watch it. That'll work. And we'll see what happens here. This is the fairest way to do it, I guess, right? That way nobody can say I purposely won or lost with any particular team. Right? Right. And we'll just see what happens. So Kansas is getting the ball. They better, yeah, take a knee. That was smart. That was smart.
Now the offense gets ready to take their first crack at it.
Philip Seabolt, you need to do a video on how you set all this up. I can do that for you. Because I'll tell you, I know those videos. Oh, that was almost an interception. Of course, Tennessee can't catch a cold, so they dropped it. I'll do that. What's today? Tuesday? Maybe I might do that tomorrow or Thursday for you. I'll sort of show you how I have all this set up here, because I don't know, maybe to some people it's really easy, but to me, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, so it took a lot of trial and error, a lot of, well, to be honest, I watched a lot of YouTube videos on how to set all this up, and I'm sort of going slow with it. There's a lot more that I could be doing on these live videos, but I'm trying not to get ahead of myself with these things to where I end up screwing something up. I mean, something that seems simple, like hooking this microphone up here, and actually getting it to work and sound right, wasn't the easiest thing in the world for me to do. So maybe it was because I was ignorant on setting this type of stuff up, or maybe it just really is that hard to do. I don't know, but I've got all the basic stuff sort of figured out now. So yeah, I'll try to do a video on sort of the setup here and how I've got everything working. Second and 2. Kansas on the move here. Now, it looks like they're running a hurry-up offense, huh? Would have been a first down. Actually, a pretty good play there by that Tennessee defender. Washington versus Auburn week 1. I think Auburn wins that game fairly easily. I'm not a believer in Washington at all. Y'all know, if you followed me at all this past season, where in the world was he throwing that to? I dogged Washington from the preseason to the end of the season. I told you, I said Washington's schedule is ridiculous. They may go undefeated. If they do, they'll get blown out in the playoff again. Of course, they didn't go undefeated. They had a couple of inexplicable losses, most notably. Oh, they went for it on 4th down and got it. Most notably to, was it Arizona? Was it Arizona or Arizona State? They lost 2 on the road about halfway through the season in a weird, like, 13-7 type game. Just didn't even show up. But they're just not a very good team. Now, I do like their coach. You know, when he was at Boise State, he pulled off some miraculous wins against some big-name teams. I'm just not a believer in Washington right now. Can they get to the point where I think they could be a legitimate threat to win a national title? Sure. I think their coach has the potential to get them there at some point. I just don't think they're there now. And I think part of the problem really is they just don't play anybody during the season. So when they get to a playoff type situation or a bowl game, they're just not prepared for the talent they're going to see, because they just don't see it week in and week out in Pac-12. At least not the last couple of years. They haven't. Seahawks 737. Hey Lou, what do you think about Jacob Eason leaving? I mean, you never want to lose a 5-star player, right? Even if he's your backup. I mean, the reason he's the backup is because he got hurt. So obviously, I mean, I'm not telling anybody anything they don't already know, but you have the potential to get hurt on every single play in football. I mean, you have the potential to end your career, really, on every single play in college football. But I got to give Jacob Eason a lot of credit. It couldn't have been an easy situation for him this year. You know, he had all the hype in the world coming in 2 years ago. We struggled last year, admittedly. Was that his fault? I mean, he made some mistakes. I don't think he was as good as a lot of people were expecting him to be. But I wouldn't consider him to be one of the weak links on our team in 2016. I mean, his potential and his talent was clear. And he beat Fromm out in the offseason for the starting position this year. Now, you can take that to mean whatever you want. Look at this quarterback running around now. That Dormady, I guess. He gets hurt in the first game. Fromm comes in. We start 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, 8-0. And at that point, there was just, there was no way a change was going to be made. It just wasn't going to happen. And then you turn around this year. I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to tell Justin Fields no? Or are you going to not sign another quarterback this year just so you can try to hang on to Jacob Eason? I mean, no, come on, you're just not going to do that. If you have the potential to sign an elite player, you're going to sign him. So I hate that we're losing him, but I wish him nothing but the best. I think he'll be successful in the offense they run at Washington. I think he'll be more comfortable. I think they'll put him in the shotgun and spread the field out and let him sling the ball around, which is really his bread and butter. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if he has a really, really good year. Not this year. He can't play this year. He's got to sit out this year. Wouldn't shock me at all for him to have a really, really good year in 2019. I still think he's got NFL talent, NFL ability. Wouldn't shock me at all if he ends up being a first-round draft pick. Of course, there are no guarantees, but with the talent he has, that wouldn't shock me at all. So, I mean, I wish him nothing but the best, and I don't blame him for transferring. It's hard to blame a kid for wanting an opportunity to play, and that opportunity just doesn't exist for him anymore at UGA. This is the only play Tennessee has, ain't it? Is this quarterback run. Got it down to the 23rd and 3. Let's see if they can convert here, or if the mighty Kansas defense can hold them to a field goal. Let's go, Jayhawks. What is it? Rock, chalk, Jayhawk. Get him. Get him. Tennessee can't even outrun Kansas to the edge. That Big 12 speed, though. Field goal time. Let's see here. And it's good. So Tennessee takes the lead 3-0 over Kansas. 1:28 to go in the first quarter. Kansas set to get the ball. Another touchback. So it's going to be Kansas ball, 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line. Let's see what happens.
Well, this is what their coach talked about, getting off to a great start. The defense did their job, and it's nice to see the offense move the ball down the field. David
Mercy says, what do you think about the XFL? David, if you watch yesterday's live video, I talk about the XFL for like the first 10 or 15 minutes of that video. So after this live stream is over, or now, or whatever you want to do, you can click over to that video, watch the first few minutes, and I spend the first few minutes talking about the XFL.
And he throws it away.
Well, I'm not sure what that was supposed to be there. 3rd and 10. Kansas can't do nothing with the ball. Now, last time they were going to hurry up. This time they're in the huddle. Look at that. Oh, they completed one. That was an ugly-looking pass, though. It looked like a punt. But he caught it. 1st down, Kansas. Texas lost to Kansas, don't forget. Yeah. That was last year, though, right? That wasn't this season, right?
Gets it out quickly.
Ooh. Big hit. Uncle Lou's Black Lab says, who's your SEC surprise 2018 team? Mine's Mizzou. That's not a bad pick. What about Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M? I mean, when you say surprise pick, I'm looking at teams that were pretty bad last year that maybe can do a lot better this year, and it would be a surprise. Can Jimbo turn Texas A&M? Is there enough talent at Texas A&M? Is Jimbo Fisher that much of a better coach than Kevin Sumlin? If he is, then Texas A&M could win 9 or 10 games this year, right? We'll find out. Missouri's a good choice, though, because their quarterback is legit. I'll probably spend all offseason, just like I did last offseason, talking about Missouri's offense and how they're going to beat some people they're not supposed to beat, and they're going to score 40 points a game and yada, yada, yada. And people can laugh at me again, but that's just how I feel about it.
He makes it out to maybe the 33-yard line.
Let me try something here. I don't know if this works or not. Let's find out.
Tennessee holds a field goal lead. Slings it. And he's taken down at about the 45.
When you can move the ball downfield in big chunks like that, you've got the defense right where you want them.
And he's tackled after positive yardage. Gain of 6 on the play.
Who has the worst uniforms in the SEC? Ooh. Wow.
He's at the 40. He's pushed out of
who has the worst? I'll tell you who had the worst last year was that alternate uniform that Florida wore. I mean, it looked like they looked like the Swamp Thing uniform or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It looked like Reptile from the Mortal Kombat video game. If you guys remember that, it was pretty bad.
And we're back for more action here in quarter number 2. Looks to him again, complete. He's taken down at about the 19-yard line.
Chandler makes the tackle at the 19-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd and 3.
Tackled after a decent pickup.
Called a gain of 7 yards. First down.
Oh, and he had some steam on that throw.
Gain of 7 on the play.
Good morning, Alan. Yeah, those Florida uniforms were pretty bad, no doubt.
Touchdown, Tennessee.
Top 4 predictions for this season. Way too early. Way too early for that. Haven't even hit signing day. Haven't even hit signing day yet. So way too early for me to try to give a top 4. Now after signing day, in a week or so, or what is it? A week from tomorrow is signing day. I'll do my post signing day top 25 or top 10. So technically, I guess there'll be a top 4 in there. So that'll be like the first top 10 or top 25 or whatever you want to call it list that I do will be after signing day. I'll do a post signing day top 10 or top 15 or whatever.
Brought down around the 35-yard line. Just throws this one away.
You know, when you feel pressure like that, the worst thing you want to do is just to throw the ball into coverage. He got away with one right there. He's very fortunate. Next time, he should just throw it away out of bounds.
Uncle Lou is a bandwagon? For who? Who am I bandwagoning for? What do I think about the Tide Pod Challenge? You know, I don't like the stuff like that goes on YouTube for a variety of reasons. Number one is I have young kids who stay on YouTube. Look at this now. Run, son. Look at him. I've got young kids who love YouTube and watch it all the time, and they like to do a lot of these challenge videos that they see on YouTube. Now, most of them are harmless. This Tide Pod one obviously isn't harmless. Now, we have a rule here, and the rule is, oh, he got ate up. The rule is with Uncle Lou's kid, Lou Jr. and Luann, I will let them do any challenge they want as long as they ask me first, and I determine that it's not dangerous. If I ever catch them doing any of these YouTube challenges without asking me first or behind my back or anything like that, then I take all their stuff where I'm not allowed to watch YouTube anymore. And so far, that's worked. But as a parent, stuff like that is, I mean, you worry about all kinds of weird stuff when you're a parent, but stuff like that is a big concern. You know, kids like to copy things they see other people doing. And a lot of these YouTube challenges, that's how they get popular. You know, they spread on YouTube and social media and things like that. So I don't like those types of things for that particular reason. And it also hurts YouTube overall when stuff like that gets spread around YouTube. Now, I know YouTube has taken down a lot of that, a lot of those Tide Pod challenge stuff now. They're really cracking down on what they will and won't allow on YouTube anymore. And I mean, overall, that's a good thing that they're doing that. I don't ever agree with everything YouTube does. I disagree with a lot of the crap they do. But the reality is, if they don't find a way to clean up some of the crap that's on YouTube now, then YouTube's just not going to be around that much longer. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. If advertisers aren't willing to spend money on YouTube, then YouTube will go away. I mean, it's just that simple. So, you know, YouTube is taking this kind of stuff seriously. Now, some of what they're doing is they're going way too far with it. You know, it's always an overreaction type of thing, but it is what it is. What are you going to do? Angry Grandpa. Angry Grandpa was one of the first YouTube channels I ever started watching on a regular basis. Prior to me watching The Angry Grandpa, the only thing I ever watched on YouTube was if I wanted to know something specific, and I would go to YouTube and type in something specific. If there was a certain song I was looking for, I would go to YouTube, I would type that song in the search bar, and I would find that song. If there was a certain video I wanted to find, I would go to YouTube, I would type that video in, I would watch that video, then that would be it. I would get off YouTube. I don't even think I had a YouTube account back then. The Angry Grandpa Show was the first daily or recurring whatever YouTube quote-unquote show that Uncle Lou ever watched on a regular basis. I remember when I forget who even told me about the Angry Grandpa, or if it might have got shared on Facebook or something, and I saw one of his videos and found him on YouTube. And I think within like a week of finding him, I had went back and watched every single Angry Grandpa video ever made. I was just hooked. I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. And so yeah, him passing away, you know, that sucked, but it wasn't a big surprise to anybody who's been following them for a while. I mean, he's been in terrible health for a long time, and it's gotten really, really bad over the last 6 months or so. So I don't think anybody was that surprised or whatever that he passed away. But still, you know, it was sad.
The 49. It's second down, and they're about 2 yards away from the sticks. They pick up good yardage that time on the pass play.
Here they kind of put pressure on the quarterback and challenged him to find the hole in the defense. And in this case, he did. Nice job.
No Hater says Pickle Boy sucks. I've never hated Michael or Kid Behind the Camera, but I never would have watched his videos over and over and over and over and over again if it wouldn't have been for Angry Grandpa, right? He has his own channel too, I think. Yeah, he does. He has his own channel, and there was the Angry Grandpa channel. And I guess I started watching the Kid Behind the Camera channel after I started watching the Angry Grandpa, just because Angry Grandpa would be on the Kid Behind the Camera channel sometimes. But I never would have started. He's not entertaining enough to me. He's just not for me anyway. He's got a ton of subscribers and gets a ton of views and makes a ton of money, I'm sure, through YouTube. But if it wouldn't have been for the Angry Grandpa, I would never watch Pickle Boy, as he's called. I think Ray William Johnson must have been a little bit before my time, Slim, because I know that name, but I don't think I've ever seen one of his videos. Logan Paul uploaded a new video, what, today? I mean, I saw the one he uploaded where, I saw the suicide awareness video that he uploaded. You know, basically pledging, what was it, $1 million or whatever it was to suicide prevention or whatever. But that was the last one I saw, and that was about almost a week ago. Master YouTubers, any of your kids get the flu yet, Lou? No, because they don't get the flu shot. So, no, they haven't had the flu. Nobody here gets the flu because we don't get the flu shot.
Tries to thread the needle, and it's not going to work.
Christopher Motley, Lou, Clemson took down North Carolina 82-78. I know some people that were at that game, so it looks like they saw a good one. Uncle Lou's Black Lab wants to know, was it all an act or was he just an ass? Talking about Angry Grandpa. I'm going to give you my... I'm going to be honest about something real quick here. And now I can't speak for every YouTuber, okay? And I'm sure there are some people on YouTube who just who totally fake everything they do. I don't think you can really be... I'm not... Well... I don't know how really to put this. I think some of what the Angry Grandpa did was probably embellished or exaggerated, but I do believe that everything the Angry Grandpa did was him as a person. Like I think he really was that way in real life. Before there was any such thing as YouTube, before Michael ever stuck a camera in his face. I believe all the stories they used to tell about him ruining Christmases and Thanksgivings and things like that. I believe all that. Do I think that as their channel got huge, some of the videos that they made were pre-planned? Probably. But that doesn't really bother me. You know, most TV shows you watch are pre-planned. Even reality shows have production teams and planning meetings, and a lot of the stuff is quote-unquote staged. Breaking news, movies aren't real. They're still pretty entertaining. So, I don't know. To me, when I watch somebody on YouTube, if I try to figure out whether what they're doing is real, fake, exaggerated, embellished, whatever, to me it sort of ruins the whole point of watching them, because in the end I don't really care. If I watch something and I laugh or I'm entertained in some type of way, then I'm probably going to watch it again, and not going to spend a whole lot of time trying to figure out whether it's 100% real, 100% fake, or anything else. I think it would be hard to do what they do if it was 100% fake. I just don't think... I mean, I could tell you right now, if I didn't care about college football and I didn't love the Georgia Bulldogs like nothing I've ever loved outside of my family, it would be impossible for me to make YouTube videos every single day about college football and the Georgia Bulldogs. Even if this channel had 1 million subscribers and I was like, oh my God, 1 million people are watching me talk about college football, I have to make a video every day now. If I didn't honestly care about college football and the Georgia Bulldogs, I wouldn't be able to make college football videos all the time. So it's hard for me to imagine that a channel like the Angry Grandpa or whatever, that everything could just be totally staged. But I do think some of it is probably pre-planned, and some of the reactions are probably exaggerations, and things like that, but it doesn't bother me. Nicholas Lale says Uncle Lou is a school shooter.
offensive line is going to give him
Jeez.
some time.
That's brutal, man. That's brutal.
And he can't hang on to the ball.
Who's the only current WWE wrestler with a national championship ring? I have no idea. The NFL is rigged. All right, Gregory, if you really believe that, then let's have a serious conversation about it.
We're into the third quarter and nobody
Who is rigging it?
both sides seeded
That's what I want to know first. First, I want to know who is rigging it.
That one's incomplete.
Number 2, the intended receiver on the play. That makes it 2nd and 10.
From their own 34-yard line, it's second down. And down he goes, right around the 46-yard line.
So first, you have to tell me that. Who's rigging it?
Just throws this one away. The defense got some pressure and forced a bad pass.
I think they've been a little bit more aggressive.
The refs are rigging it?
That time it paid
Who's
off.
paying them?
From their own 46-yard line, second down. They'll bring him down at the 42.
I'm not even playing this game, Nicholas Lale. So that shows that's a glimpse into your level of intellect, sir.
Tackles him hard at the 34.
That'll bring up 2nd and 3.
I don't know. I just think it's ridiculous that a bunch of people cry about the NFL being rigged and then watch it. It's ridiculous. I mean, the NFL is not rigged. Goodell rigs it. So Goodell is a huge Patriots fan.
That makes it 2nd and 10.
Complete. He's got room. He gets hit out of bounds at the 19-yard line.
Call Paul and tell him 9/11 was an inside job.
Fires out quickly to the tailback.
Look at Kansas done tied it up with Tennessee now
Burke will get a player down, obviously in some pain.
in the third. Y'all see, we're not even paying attention to this game, and Kansas is about to take the lead on the Voltards here.
Yard line.
I mean, this is really something serious. Oh, 1st and goal, Kansas.
Position to score.
Did you see him go up and catch that ball? 1st and goal, Jayhawks about to take the lead on Tennessee. 2:42 left in the third quarter. 1st and goal, Kansas has the ball. Option left. Quarterback sacked for a 1-yard loss. Going to be 2nd and goal from about the 3.5-yard line. Kyle Phillips tackles Peyton Bender behind the line of scrimmage. Great play there by the Voltards. Here we go again. Kansas 2nd and goal. Tennessee crowds the box. I formation. Fullback up the middle. And Super White Boy scores a touchdown. There's absolutely nothing the Voltards can do about it. They just got steamrolled. Did you see the push that the Kansas offensive line got against Tennessee there? Unreal. And Tennessee actually takes the lead there on the Voltards. Unbelievable.
And he hits the PAT. A 12-play, 66-yard drive, and it results in a touchdown.
Brad, I thought the offense did a really nice job of mixing up the play.
And no, I'm not. Uncle Lou's not playing. I'm not playing. This is purely a computer simulation with 2017 rosters. So if Kansas is the better team, then they're just the better team.
Jayhawks continue to get it done on the defensive side of the football, Kirk.
Yeah, they've done a good job of building this lead and almost determined here to protect it. Let's see if they can hold on here for the rest of the way.
There's still plenty of time to keep running their offense as usual here. I don't think they need to feel...
Bad Dog says Uncle Lou hates me now. I don't hate you, Bad Dog. You've always been one of my favorites, even though you're an Oklahoma fan.
Like he's going to play any more football today. Now he tries to buy some...
I didn't even rag you that bad when Oklahoma lost because you're a Giants fan, and the Voltards fumbled. The Voltards turn it over, their second turnover of the day, and Kansas is right back in business on the 27-yard line. Oh my God, huge momentum swing. This could really be a turning point in this game. Kansas takes over after the turnover. The Voltards just cannot hang on to the football. Kansas, a bone-crushing hit here by the Kansas defender, and Quentin Dormady coughs up the football. First down, Kansas on the 28-yard line, threatening to blow this game open now. Come out shotgun 4 wide, Tennessee in a dime. Play action pass, all day to throw the ball, steps up in the pocket, all night to throw the ball. The guy had all day and all night, couldn't get rid of the ball, takes the sack. Wow, what an idiot. You had 19 days to throw the ball, you can't throw it out of bounds. What a moron. Ed McConnell playing spy there. He comes up and gets the sack. Going to be 2nd and 12 now for the Jayhawks. Voltards really need to make a stand here on defense. Another touchdown in this game could really get out of reach. We all know Tennessee just doesn't have the offensive ability to mount any type of a comeback against a juggernaut like Kansas. And if they don't tighten up right now, this game could be over. Back to pass, swing pass, wide open down the sideline. First down, Kansas. Yeah, missed assignment there for sure. Some idiot linebacker definitely forgot to pick up the running back out of the backfield there. And Kansas gashes Tennessee for about a 15 or 20-yard gain down the right sideline. Back to throw again. Completed over the middle, and it's going to be close to a first down. He reaches, didn't get it. 2nd and inches now for Kansas on the 3-yard line, running a hurry-up offense. 3 wide, shotgun, running back offset to the right. Hands it up the middle. He's met in the hole and dropped for about a 3-yard loss on the play. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 3 now. Good play there by the Tennessee defender. What a game here we have in the college football 2017 worst of the worst playoffs. This is round 1, seed number 1. The number 1 seed, Kansas, taking on the number 4 seed, Tennessee. In the Sugar Bowl, they're stopped on 3rd and 3. Have to settle for a field goal attempt here. This for a 10-point lead. Snap is good. Kick is up. And he drills it right down the middle. And Kansas goes up 10. Kansas 20, Tennessee 10 with 1 minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Critical drive here coming up for Tennessee. Takes it out of his own end zone. He's out to the 30, across the 30, to the 32 or the 33-yard line. So the Voltars will set up shop on the 32-yard line. Under a minute to go in the 3rd quarter, trailing by 10 to the Kansas Jayhawks. Shotgun 4 wide. Dormady takes off again, 5, 10 yards just across the first down marker. Does pick up the first down. Dangerous play, fumbled on the last possession trying to run, but that's been Tennessee's best play all game, has been that quarterback keeper with Quentin Dormady. 4 wide again, shotgun. Tennessee showing some desperation here. Dormady takes off again. Oh, he's met and hit hard and driven out of bounds, but again, he gets 10 yards and picks up another first down. That's really Tennessee's only play. These receivers just can't separate from these elite Kansas defensive backs. Again, Dormady back to pass. This time he actually throws it and completes a pass. Holy moly, completes a pass. 9-yard gain over the middle. Nice crossing route there. 2nd and 1. Looks like 4 wide again. Shotgun back off to the right. Ball is snapped. Dormady gets crushed. Loses a yard. Going to bring up 3rd and 2. That quarterback keeper just did not work. Bunch formation here for Tennessee. Shotgun, Dormady back to throw. Takes off, running again. First down. That's literally Tennessee's only play. Stick Pig says, where's BVD? That's a good question. I don't know. I actually talked to him earlier today. He's supposed to call me, but he never did. Almost intercepted. Incomplete pass.
From the 30-yard line, 2nd down.
Hey, good to see you, Paul. I thought we were never going to see you again, sir. My heart was broken, so I'm glad to see that you changed your mind. Thank you. You're good people. Nicholas says Georgia Tech is better than Georgia, so that's an obvious troll. Clemson versus Georgia, 2018 national title. I think those will definitely be two of the favorites. I mean, if you're going to pick 5 or 6 favorites right now for next year, I think both those teams would be on that list.
Screen pass. He's got his halfback. We're still early.
Do some vlogs, Lou. What kind of vlogs do you want me to do? Like daily vlogs where I carry my camera around all day and then edit like a 10-minute video together and post it for you, like that, like a Casey Neistat vlog? Like what type of vlog? Or you want me to just pick news stories and yell about them for 5 or 6 minutes on camera? What you want me to do for you? This is updated rosters, sir. I missed the name, but somebody says, how's Dormady playing if this is... Now they put Guantanamo Bay in. Look at this now. They done put Guantanamo Bay in the game. 2nd and 3. Did Dormady get hurt and I missed it, or did they bench that clown and they put Guantanamo Bay in now? 2nd and 3. Tennessee desperately needs a score here, and they find one. Touchdown. They pull within 4. Tyler Bird with a slant route. Touchdown, wide open over the middle. And with just under 4.5 minutes to go here, Tennessee is looking to make this a 3-point game. Blake Lewis, good morning, sir.
And he converts the extra point.
David Murphy likes the trash can. Everybody liked the trash can. That was the only good thing about Tennessee's season, was that trash can was way more popular this year than the Tennessee football program was. That trash can was on point this year.
When the ball is snapped, we're one play away from a very different ball game. Kansas is up a field goal. And he's immediately tackled.
I appreciate that. Nicholas says he watches videos and he's not a troll. You can be a troll. I love trolls. Trolls make the world go around, sir, so I don't mind trolling, especially creative trolling. Trolling that's actually funny. Like, to me, just showing up in a YouTube comment section and calling someone gay a million times, like, to me, that's not really trolling. Like, I like creative trolling. So you're welcome to troll. We love trolls here.
Flips it middle to the running back. Tackle made at about the 31.
Slim Mosley wants to know, do you and your wife share the same opinions on conspiracy theories? No. No, she's a little bit more mainstream. Do I think Zamir White will be 100% next season? Probably not in the beginning of the year. Maybe by the end of the year. Big C Gracie says Uncle Lou is a troll. World-class troll, sir. Bad Dog. Okay, now I do hate you. Bad Dog wants to know, is Sleeta the biggest UGA fan you've ever seen? If y'all know who Sleeta is, he's a YouTube. He used to have a YouTube channel, or maybe he still does, or this week he might, and then next week he might not. But anyway, he claimed that he was a Georgia and a Georgia Tech fan, which, as we all know, is just impossible. Bad Dog, that's like being a Giants fan and an Eagles fan. Okay, you can't. It just doesn't work that way. If you're a fan of both, then you're a fan of neither. This is Tennessee's only play, no matter who the quarterback is. Dormady run, and now Guantanamo Bay run. Will Muschamp, National Coach of the Year, 2K18. I would not bet on that. Did Guantanamo Bay just get tackled by his offensive lineman? I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure he just got tackled by the left guard. This game is accurate as hell. Got some blockers out front. John Kelly can't break loose. Remember in September when John Kelly was the greatest running back in history? All right, getting down to 2 minutes to go now. 3rd and 13, a bomb. Oh, he caught it! He caught it! Oh, my God. Josh Smith. Wow. He actually caught it. Holy hell. First and goal for the Voltards. 2 minutes and 16 seconds. They trail by 3. Guantanamo Bay back to pass. Looks to his left. Fires. Touchdown, John Kelly. 6-yard touchdown reception. Tennessee takes the lead late in the fourth. 23-20 with a chance now to go up by 4. 2 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the Sugar Bowl. The number 1 seed, Kansas, trails the number 4 seed, Tennessee, 24-20. In round 1 of the worst 2017 college football playoff. Tennessee set to kick off. Kansas back to receive. Boots it pretty much out of the end zone. He takes a knee. And we're going to have 1st and 10 Kansas with about 80 yards to go to win the game. A field goal does them no good here. They're down by 4. 2 minutes and 13 seconds to go. So they've got to drive 75 yards and score for a chance to win this game. Up to the line, 3 wide, 2 running backs, shotgun, play action pass, throws deep down the right side and throws it 15 yards out of bounds. Incomplete, brings up 2nd and 10.
So it's 2nd and 10. Ball on the 25. A little more than 2 minutes to go in the 4th quarter.
Same formation. It worked so good the first time. They're trying it again. Back to pass, pressure up the middle, and he's sacked. Bender goes down. Khalil McKenzie Jr. with the sack. His first one of the day. Third and 17. This could be the game here. Kansas does have all 3 timeouts, but they really need a first down here. And they're not going to get it here. Taylor Martin catches the ball, but he's dragged down for no gain. Bringing up 4th and 17. They're going to have to punt here, right? They're going to go for it. Surprised they're not punting. They've got all 3 timeouts, 1.5 minutes to go. I'm a little surprised they're going for it here. Desperation move, back to pass, pressure up the middle, and he is eaten alive, sacked for an 8-yard loss. That's going to be a turnover on downs. Was that McKenzie again? Yep, right up the middle. Number 99, McKenzie gets the sack. Turnover on downs. Tennessee takes over with 1:30 to go, and that's pretty much going to wrap it up, barring some sort of a turnover here. That's most likely the game. It looks like Tennessee is going to survive and pull the huge upset here. 4 seed knocking off the 1 seed. John Kelly off the right side for a few yards. 2nd and goal. Kansas, yeah, I guess they did call a timeout. Okay. John Kelly up the middle, maybe a yard or 2. 3rd and goal. 4 wide, shotgun. John Kelly off to the right. Most likely another running play here. Nope. Guantanamo back to pass. Fires. Touchdown. And that's going to do it. Tyler Bird with his 2nd touchdown reception of the day. No, is that 2nd or 3rd? That's at least his 2nd. This game really changed when Tennessee put Guantanamo Bay in. They couldn't get anything going with Dormady. Kansas was dominating the game. Dormady gets injured. Guantanamo Bay comes in. Leaves the Voltards to come from behind victory here. About to go up 31-20 on Kansas, and this one's over. What happened here? Now the game's done locked up.
They just didn't get the snap.
Oh, here we go.
Here's the call.
Delay of game.
Now Kansas is mad, or Tennessee jumps off sides, or whatever the hell is going on here.
A little over a minute in the game.
Do Florida versus UNC.
Splits the uprights with the extra point.
Well, this is round 1. Kansas was the 1 seed. Tennessee was the 4 seed. Thursday night, we will do round 2, which is going to be, is it Baylor and Oregon State, isn't it? Yeah. And remember, the loser advances. So Kansas advances to the championship round now because they lost. So Kansas will take on the loser of Baylor and Oregon State. That's how this is going to work. So it's official now. Tennessee, not the worst team in America. So congratulations to the Vols. You're not the worst team. Kansas said they're not giving up, though. I just think it's too late. Yeah, you're definitely not going to come back sitting in the pocket half the day, waiting to get racked.
It looked like they had a chance to bring him down for the sack, but somehow he was able to throw the ball away.
It's 2nd and 10. Ball on the 37-yard line.
Squidtard's evil twin, Uncle Lou, why have you been ignoring my comments?
Nice pickup as they connect on the pass play.
But they look to be in sync right now. They're both reading the defense properly, and the result is a nice game.
Quick pass. Tackle around the 39-yard line.
Where do you think Michelle and Chubb will be drafted this May? I haven't even looked at the draft order yet. I do think Michelle will be drafted ahead of Chubb. As far as what team takes them, I don't have a clue right now. But I think Michelle will be drafted ahead of Chubb. I just think he translates to the NFL right now better than Chubb does. Noel Hader, hey Lou, Herschel in the XFL. If Herschel were to play in the XFL, he would be the best player in the league, and it wouldn't be close.
Not sure what happened.
Kansas should be demoted to 1AA. Yeah, they've just been bad for so long. I mean, you give Tennessee a hard time for going 0-8 in the SEC this year and 4-8 overall and just being a terrible team, but nobody's as bad for as long as Kansas. I mean, they've just been bad forever, like epically bad. Paul Warren, who wins the Super Bowl? I think the Patriots win a close game.
Gains his way to the 29-yard line. We have less than a minute.
Dennis Wilson says those Mark Richt recruits. That's right, Dennis, which is why you're screwed if you're not a UGA fan, because this year's Georgia team is going to be the worst Georgia team for the next 3 or 4 years, because Mark Richt never recruited at the level that Kirby Smart has recruited at for the last couple of years. So Georgia is going to have a more talented team in the next 2 or 3 years than they have right now. So you make an excellent point. Kirby Smart was able to make it to a national title with players that averaged about 8th in terms of recruiting class. This year, our roster is going to include players with an average recruiting rank of about 6th or 5th. Next year, our roster is going to include players with an average recruiting class rank of about 4th, and the year after that, it's going to be about 2 or 3. So it's a scary time in the SEC if you're not a Georgia fan. So thank you for bringing that up, Mr. Wilson. Boonk Gang says Tennessee has more wins than Georgia all time, and that didn't help them at all this year. It helped them just as much as that 1998 national title helped them this year. It didn't help them at all. I promise no one cares who won the Georgia-Tennessee game in 1962 or 72 or 82 or 92 or 2002 or 2012. But right now, you're sitting on a 41-0 loss at home to UGA, your worst home loss in 100 years. So, you've got 8 months to suck on that. There's nothing you can do about it for at least the next 8 months. Tennessee has a losing streak to all 13 SEC teams, all 13. I don't know that that's ever happened before in the SEC. I don't think there's ever been an SEC team that has had a current losing streak against every other SEC team, and that's Tennessee right now. Tennessee has lost the last time they played every single SEC team. So, I mean, that's just embarrassing and sad. So, Bradley Chubb, #1 pick. He's a beast. I'm not going to lie. He's the real deal. He's an animal. Let's see. I need to take a picture. For the thumbnail later. I have to. And I'm going to, too. There it is. The proof. Gregory Maddox, do you have Bitcoin? No, I don't. I've never messed with that. Is Michelle better than Chubb? I think he translates to the NFL better. He's a 3-down back, I think. In the end, I think he can run the ball, and he's a much better pass catcher, in my opinion, than Chubb is. I think Chubb's going to be a first and second down, pound it, goal line type back. I think Sony Michel will be more of a typical 3-down NFL back. He can even play slot receiver. I just think he adds more value to an NFL team than a Chubb does. I still think Chubb's a really good back, though. Ryan says, no one on here was alive the last time UJ won a natty. Sir, there's people on here who weren't alive the last time Tennessee even won the SEC. So, again, none of that has anything to do with the fact that Tennessee went 0-8 this year and lost to UJ 41-0. So, Nicholas says I need some motivation to go to school. Self-motivation is the best kind, sir. You should look inward for motivation when you can, as opposed to outward. Scott Frost will make Nebraska like they were in the 90s. Not right now, he won't. Not anytime soon. He's about to find out the hard way the difference in depth and talent from UCF schedule to a Big Ten schedule. He's about to find that out real quick. Butch Jones took a job at a high school, is what I heard. Mark Richt for Coach of the Year. Miami had a good year. Can't really knock Miami this year. I mean, they win 10 games, 9 games, something like that. They had a pretty good year. See you later, Paul. Good night, sir. Someone's always under investigation at Florida State. Now that Jimbo's gone, I don't know. Is Taggart going to cover everything up like Jimbo Fisher did? I don't know. We'll find out. Is the campus police going to be in Taggart's pocket like he was Jimbo Fisher's pocket? I don't know. We'll find out. Is the school president and administration going to bow down to the head football coach and the athletic department like they did when Jimbo Fisher and Bobby Bowden were there? I don't know. We'll find out. Should UT get a new QB? You're talking about Tennessee, I guess. I don't know. They're going to give. It's either going to be Dormady or Garantano. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Pruitt will have an open competition between those two, and one of those two is going to be the starter. I'd be surprised if it was anybody else besides one of those two. Yeah, Canes have a good class this year. What do they rank right now? They're top 5, aren't they? Miami in recruiting. I might have said the F word a time or two on video, Squid Tart. I try not to cuss on video because a lot of younger kids watch my videos, and I have young kids that like to watch my videos. So no matter how far back you go on my channel, it's hard to find me cussing, but it does happen from time to time. I make a conscious effort to try not to, but I'm sure if you look hard enough, you can find sometimes when I have. Miami's 5th, okay, yeah. Anything in the top 10 in recruiting is really, really good. I do think there's a difference between first, second, and third, and 8th, 9th, and 10th. But 8th, 9th, and 10th, you're still getting a really, really good recruiting class, right? I mean, you're splitting hairs when you start talking about who's better between number 1 and number 5 or something like that. But anything in the top 10 is really, really a really strong recruiting class, no matter how you look at it. I didn't hear about the Washington State quarterback. Was it their starting quarterback? I didn't hear about that. My thoughts on Gibbs are he whatever it is that's going on with him, he better figure it out in a hurry, because the way UJ is recruiting right now, we don't really have to sit around and wait on a kid to be ready or decide he wants to do what he needs to do, or whatever it is that's going on with Gibbs. We're not in a position anymore where we have to, bow down to these kids, and I don't know what's going on with them, and I don't want to speculate and mention some rumors or anything. But what I'm saying is he's got a lot of talent, and I think he could play a lot of downs for the University of Georgia over the next 3 years. But if he doesn't figure out quick and get it together, whatever it is that's going on, he's going to get passed by. So I hope he can get it figured out. Lou, let's see what Christopher Williams says. Lou, will we have a better chance beating Auburn or LSU? Well, we get Auburn at home, and we've owned them over the last 15 years. I think they've only beat us 3 times in the last 15 years. So, that alone, and the fact that game's at home, whereas we play LSU on the road, you would tend to say, well, we have a better chance of beating Auburn. However, I think Auburn's going to be a better team than LSU, potentially. I think I'm still not a believer. You guys know I talked about it all year. I'm not a believer in Orgeron. They're getting new coordinators in there now. They still have no quarterback. Hard for me really to consider LSU a serious threat to win the West, whereas Auburn, you can't count. You can't discount them. I mean, they just won the West. So you at least have to consider them. So under normal conditions, I would say Auburn would be the easier of those 2 games, since it's at home and we have a pretty good record against Auburn over the last 10 or 15 years. But this particular year, I don't think LSU is going to be able to compete with Georgia, whereas I think Auburn will have a better chance against Georgia. But honestly, I think Georgia wins them both, obviously. Should Eason start over Browning? He can't. Eason can't play this year. He has to sit out a year. And Browning will go pro. So you never. It doesn't matter who's better, Eason or Browning or anything, because Eason can't play this year. He has to sit out a year. Good morning, Reggie. Who will be the next coach fired in the SEC? Well, let's start in the East. It won't be Florida or Tennessee's coach. They just got there. Muschamp's at least, improving. Kirby just made the national title game, so that's 4 coaches that aren't getting fired this year. I think Mizzou, if Mizzou has a terrible year, let's say Mizzou wins 2, 3, 4 games, something like that, I could see Missouri firing that coach. Would Vanderbilt fire Derek Mason right now? I don't think so. Kentucky and Stoops, hard to imagine them firing Stoops. He's at least got them making a bowl game back-to-back years, which is a minor miracle for Kentucky. So you go over to the West, Saban's not, he's not getting fired. Orgeron, I think, could get fired if LSU had a terrible year, although I don't think it's likely. I don't think LSU wants to spend the money right now on another coach. Jimbo's not getting fired year one at Texas A&M. The Ole Miss coach isn't getting fired because nobody wants that job. The Mississippi State coach is brand new, so he's not getting fired. The Arkansas coach is brand new, so he's not getting fired. That leaves Gus Malzahn, who just got a huge raise and extension. Hard to imagine they would fire him 1 year after giving him a big raise and extension. So I guess if I had to put my money on one coach right now that was going to lose their job, I would say Mizzou. But I actually think you're going to see the opposite. You know, it was Armageddon for SEC coaches this year. Half the teams almost replaced their coaches. I'm gonna say next year, no coaches lose their job in the SEC. That'll be my official prediction for right now. What's my opinion on Tua, Alabama's quarterback Tua? I think he's good. I think he's got a lot of ability. I think people who want to crown him as a automatic Heisman winner and four-time national champion because of what he did in the second half of the national title game, I think those people are putting the cart way ahead of the horse. Georgia did not prepare for him at all. It was obvious Georgia spent all their time preparing to stop Hurts, which is a totally different game plan than going up against Tua. I'm not blaming Kirby Smart for that. I don't blame Kirby Smart and Mel Tucker and the Georgia coaching staff for focusing there. It was hard to imagine Hurts getting pulled out of that game and Tua getting put in. It's hard to imagine for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's a national title game. Jalen Hurts, as bad as he is at throwing the ball, was 25-1 at that point as a starter. Hard to imagine pulling him out in a national title game. Number two, Tua's a freshman. You're going to pull out your starter that's 25-1 for a true freshman who's never started. I don't know. And number three, no one imagined that the game would be out of hand like it was at halftime to the point where that would even be an option. So Georgia just didn't prepare for a throwing quarterback. They prepared to Georgia prepared to shut Ridley down, to cover Ridley, and contain Hurts from running the ball. And they did an excellent job preparing for that, and they did an excellent job of shutting that down. When Tua came in and started slinging the ball around, they were never able to get out of the Hurts mindset and into the Tua mindset. So that's not a knock on Tua. I think Tua might be the best quarterback in the SEC next year. Okay, he's really, really good. But I don't think you can take what he did in the second half against Georgia and automatically apply that to the next 3 years. Teams are going to be preparing for a different style of Alabama offense with him in the game than they were with Hurts in the game. So we'll see how he does next year, but I think he'll be fine. Auburn beat Ole Miss. That game must have just ended, I guess. I know it came on at 9 o'clock or something. Auburn's got a good basketball team this year. What are they now? 15-2 or something like that? 16 and I mean I think they've only lost 2 games. First place in the SEC, I believe. Volunteer Roadshow. Good morning, sir. Y'all subscribe to him if you're not already. Most of y'all probably are. Beepity. Christopher Williams says, do you think Fields' role will be more like DJ Sockley? He might play in the red zone. That's exactly what I think it'll be this year. I don't think he'll redshirt. I don't think he'll start, but I do think he will play in probably every single game in just the type of way that you just described there. I think he'll play in some red zone type situations. I think they'll have certain packages. I think they'll know going into games, okay, we want to use him in these situations against this particular team, and I think that's a great idea. It doesn't put any pressure on him in terms of having to be a starting quarterback. It makes defenses have to prepare for not only for 2 different quarterbacks, but for 2 totally different styles of quarterback. And I think it, I think it puts Fromm at ease. I think the sooner, I don't even think really they should try to hide it, at least not internally. I mean, they just come out and say, look, Jake Fromm, you're the starter. We're going to play Fields, though, because he gives us a different dimension type of thing, but we don't want you to be, don't be worried, whatever, you're the guy or whatever, but, he's going to play some type of thing. Where'd the guy go that told me to do vlog videos? I never saw what he said, what he said he wanted me to do, what he meant by Uncle Lou should do vlog videos. Is he still in here? Or did somebody else see what he said? And which one of you knuckleheads, y'all know I need some help with the live shows that I'm doing during the day. So which one of you knuckleheads has enough sense and can put sentences together in a reasonable enough type manner that can co-host some of these live shows with me that I do during the day, or even at night? I'm not gonna, these live shows are gonna be every Monday and Wednesday at 3 in the afternoon, and every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 at night. And the ones at night aren't gonna always be college football. Now the next couple are, because we're doing this tournament thing, but. So I need some people that can co-host with me or be guest hosts on here with me. Who's going to do that? Somebody that doesn't know anything about football just said Jake Fromm's going to take a huge step backwards next year. What a moron. Oh, same Dennis Wilson that's been trolling since 9/15. Okay, that figures. Here's the thing about whoever wants to co-host or is interested in that at all, has any interest in doing that, I need you to email me. That's how I'm keeping up with the people. And some people have already emailed me, and I appreciate that. I need you to email me, crazyunclelou@gmail.com, and that way I have an email from you saying I'm willing to co-host. And I would always give like a week, 2 weeks, whatever notice to whoever it is I'm going to get to co-host with me on a particular day. It'll never be I'm asking you 5 minutes ahead of time to co-host or whatever. I just want a general idea of who would be willing to do it. Yeah, I got you, Catfish. I know you'll do it, buddy. Oh, they're 20-2. Okay, Philip. Auburn 20-2 in basketball. Yeah, it's got to be one of the best years they've ever had, right? I mean, so far, we'll see what they do in the tournament, but I don't remember them ever being 20-2. Why didn't UJ keep Eason? Well, the players aren't slaves, sir. We don't own them. They're allowed to leave if they want to. I mean, he's a 5-star quarterback. He's not going to ride the bench for 4 years or 3 more years. That's 2 more years. It's not going to happen. Macho Man wants to know if you get paid for co-hosting. Yes, I'll pay you. I'll pay you twice what I make for co-hosting. How about that? Yeah, Georgia's going to have a good season. I mean, you just look at the schedule; it sets up nice. I mean, the worst case scenario for Georgia next year would be 9-3. No, I mean, it's a different situation with Fields and Fromm. Christopher wants to know, will Fields transfer if he gets there? And I mean, he already knows Fromm is there, and he's still choosing to come anyway. I think he'll be happy to play a little bit this year, a little bit more next year. We'll see what Fromm does after his junior year, how much pro potential he has. We'll see, but I don't think we have to worry about losing either Fromm or Fields. And you have to remember, they're both from Georgia. Eason was not, and in these types of cases, sometimes that matters. Yeah, Georgia lost a lot on the defensive side of the ball, no doubt about it. But if anybody thinks we're going to have a bad defense or hurt at the running back position, then you just haven't been paying attention to recruiting or college football in general. Kirby Smart and Mel Tucker are not going to have a bad. I mean, we were a top 5 defense this year, so maybe next year we're only a top 10 or a top 15. A top 10 or a top 15 defense is still good enough to make the college football playoff. I mean, maybe instead of beating teams by 40 points next year and holding them to 0, 3, 7, and 13 points, maybe we give up 14 points a game and beat them 40-14 instead of 40-10 or 40-3. But the offense will be better next year than it was this year. John Reddy, good morning. What's up, dude? Sports Guy says his worries for UJ would be the offense. Yeah, I mean, anytime you have a defensive-minded head coach, that's always the concern. That's why, as hard as I was on Jake Fromm and the idea of having to play another freshman quarterback again, I think it's worked out pretty good that Fromm has got there when he did. He's an Aaron Murray type of quarterback, which I think is, you know, he's going to be very reliable. I don't see him making a ton of mistakes. He's smart. He understands the offense. He can read a defense. You know, so I think a quarterback like that can thrive under a defensive-minded head coach. I don't think Eason necessarily fit in with what Kirby Smart's game plan is, which is pound the ball and play good defense. I think Fromm fits that pretty good. Our offensive line will be light years better next year than it was this year. We still have NFL tight ends. Our receivers, we didn't have any elite receivers to start with, so we could, you know, even if our receivers are only just as good as they were last year, that's fine. I think they'll be a little better. Running back, we don't, you know, we're not going to have Chubb and Michelle, but we're still going to have probably the best backfield in the SEC, maybe the second best. We're still going to have elite running backs. Offensive line, way better. Jake Fromm coming back. Receivers will be fine. NFL tight ends. I'm not worried about the offense this year. I think the offense will be even better this year than it was, or next year than it was this year. And you got to remember, Chaney's been there 2 years, but both years he was there, he had a true freshman quarterback. So this will be Chaney's first year at UGA with a returning starting quarterback. That matters too. Ryan Jones says, when was the last time UJ won the SEC before this year? 2005. I'm not sure if you're trolling or really asking, but it was 2005. Jim Chaney does not need to be fired. That's ridiculous. We averaged 45 points a game with a true freshman quarterback, the smallest offensive line in the SEC, and below average wide receivers. Just the whole fire Chaney thing is football ignorant. Eason had no pocket presence. That's what Reggie Warren says. He looked uncomfortable in Georgia's style of offense. He didn't run that in high school. In high school, he was shotgun every single play with 4 and 5 wide receivers. If he gets out to Washington and runs that type of offense, it wouldn't surprise me at all if he throws for 450 yards a game and 45 touchdowns. John Reddy says, "Hey Lou, how bad do we beat Texas A&M?" Well, Georgia doesn't play Texas A&M, so who are you talking about? All right, Squid Tart, I'll check my email either after this stream or in the morning. Look, I've sort of been an Alex Smith fan. Someone's asking about him being traded from the Chiefs. People have been real hard on Alex Smith, but the reality of the situation is the Chiefs are a talented enough team to win some playoff games and have been for a few years now. And at some point, somebody has to start taking some blame. I kind of think Andy Reid needs some of that blame, and I think Alex Smith needs some of that blame too. He's been good, but never great. And if I was the Chiefs, if I was a Chiefs fan, I would be ready to try something different too. TCU and Ohio State. Yeah, they'll both be good next year. Ohio State's always going to be good. I mean, Urban Meyer is an elite coach. He recruits at an elite level. He's got to avoid crap in the bed. Like that Iowa game is just head-scratching. Even though, Clemson was better than Ohio State 2 seasons ago, but they weren't 31-0 better. You got to stop laying eggs like that. Not sure what's going on there, and he's got to get a quarterback. J.T. Barrett was never a good quarterback. I don't care what anybody says. He was never any good. He was way too inconsistent. The guy's been at Ohio State since 1992, and half the time he looked like a true freshman who'd never seen a football before. He wasn't any good. You got to find a quarterback, and you got to quit laying a yearly egg. But Ohio State's always going to be a top 5, top 10 team for the foreseeable future. TCU, I think TCU is more a product of a terrible league. The Big 12 is just not any good. If at best you've got one elite team a year and a couple of good teams, and the rest are just total garbage. And I think TCU benefits from that. Kirby's first year, Georgia was terrible. We were 8-5, and we dominated TCU in a bowl game. And I know they weren't as good that year as they were this past year, but still. I'm just not a big believer in TCU. Miami, #1 seed, going into next year's playoff. No, there's just no chance of that. Clemson is the team to beat right now in the ACC. Miami, as improved as they are over the last couple of years, is nowhere near Clemson's level right now. Mark Richt's doing at Miami the same thing he did at Georgia. Barely beating a bunch of garbage teams. I mean, North Carolina was one of the worst teams in America this year. You should have lost to them. Georgia Tech was one of the worst teams in America this year. You almost lost to them. You got completely humiliated in your biggest game of the year. I mean, it's typical Mark Richt. I mean, just take it from a Georgia fan. The way Miami's season played out this year, I've seen that time and time and time and time again, and I don't see it changing anytime in the near future, unfortunately for Miami fans. How do I feel about Lane Kiffin's job at FAU? I think he better stay there for a while because he's still an immature idiot. He can't stay off Twitter. He's always, he feels like he has to be a class clown, and legitimate schools just don't want to put up with that. He's great for FAU because he gives them a lot of attention, which a small, nobody program like FAU needs. I just don't see a big-time school taking a chance on him right now. And he just continues to give big-time schools reasons not to take chances on him. He can't keep his mouth shut. Oh, Clemson beats Texas A&M. That game won't be. I mean, look, Clemson was dominating Jimbo Fisher when Jimbo Fisher had Florida State talent, and Texas A&M doesn't have Florida State talent. So, can Jimbo Fisher turn Texas A&M into a contender in the SEC West? Maybe over the next. It's going to take a couple of years, but maybe. But they're not there right now. Clemson should win that game. Should beat Texas A&M fairly easily. Thoughts on Notre Dame versus Michigan week 1. I'm glad to see them playing. That's one of those games that used to be played all the time, and it sort of went away for a while. I'm glad to see them playing. I think that'll be a good game. Notre Dame is losing a lot of NFL talent this year, but they recruit pretty well. I don't like their coach. He saved his job by having a pretty good year this year. I don't like Jim Harbaugh either, but Jim Harbaugh's defense is going to be unbelievable next year. I couldn't believe their defense was that good this year. They replaced 10 starters off their defense from 2 years ago this year, and then they come out and the defense is even better. I mean, they're playing a ton of freshmen and sophomores. Their defense is going to be elite. It's going to be almost impossible to score on them next year, but I'm just not convinced that Michigan has any type of offense at all. So to me, the Michigan-Notre Dame game may be a good game. As far as Michigan overall, I can't see them beating a Penn State, an Ohio State, a Wisconsin. I mean, I see Michigan right now as probably the 4th or 5th best team in the Big Ten. All right, guys, it's 11:30, so that's an hour and a half. I'm gonna end this tomorrow. Live show tomorrow at 3 Eastern, 3 p.m. in the afternoon. The Uncle Lou Show live episode 2. Not sure yet what I'm gonna be talking about. Probably do some more Super Bowl talk since it is Super Bowl week. And then we'll pick a few other topics to talk about tomorrow. But that'll be 3 p.m. tomorrow. And I'm thinking about taking a few phone calls during the show tomorrow at 3 o'clock too. So if any of you guys are off school, out of work, home, whatever, and can listen in tomorrow, 3 Eastern, live on YouTube, the Uncle Lou Show live, episode number 2. And I think I am going to take some phone calls tomorrow, which is always interesting and exciting to hear what some of these people have to say. But anyway, y'all, thanks for watching. To recap, round 1 of the college football worst of the worst playoff. Kansas, with the number 1 seed, loses to number 4 seed Tennessee, 31-20. A dramatic come-from-behind win for Tennessee. They scored 21 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to win the game, 31-20 over Kansas. So as the loser, Kansas advances to the finals of the worst playoffs. They will play in the worst of the worst championship next Tuesday night against the loser of Baylor and Oregon State. Baylor and Oregon State, of course, will be streamed live here on YouTube Thursday night at 10 o'clock. We'll do the same thing. I won't play with either team. I'll just simulate it and let the game play itself. We'll see who may the worst team lose. The loser of that game will take on Kansas for title of the worst team in America. And then we'll see if we want to do a winner's bracket where Tennessee plays the winner. We'll see. But anyway, I really appreciate y'all watching. Thanks for all the comments and the back and forth. I love talking football with you guys. That's why I do these videos. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm always looking for recommendations, ideas, all that kind of stuff. If I didn't read your comment, I'm sorry. They scroll by kind of fast, and I try to respond to as many as I can. If you got any ideas, suggestions, whatever, feel free to email me, crazyunclelou@gmail.com. I always read those, and I look forward to hearing from you. Anyway, thanks again. Y'all have a great morning, and I'll see you tomorrow live at 3 Eastern.